Hey guys, Dr. Steve here with another episode of Core Wellness TV, and today is the full squat episode. And as you can see, I spend a lot of time in the full squat taking care of my lettuce patches. And of course, if we had to say something real quick about nutrition, what is the thing I always say? Less what, more what? Less grain, more green. Okay. So the biggest problem that people have, with being able to get into this position is there's a lot of different reasons. But one of the biggest ones I see, in all honesty, is the ankle mobility. My ankle mobility right now is, right there around at least 45 degrees. And a lot of people don't have much more than 10 or 20. And you cannot do a full deep squat without that ability, okay? So one of the things I like to tell people to do is actually sit on a therapy ball and put the ball, I'm not going to get up any higher because you won't be able to see me, but sit on a ball and tuck that ball underneath your leg and then actually sit on the ball, take your foot and tuck it up under the ball and then roll up onto the ball. You can roll the ball forward, you can roll the ball to the side, roll the ball inside, and really open up that ankle mobility, okay? See how that really gets that moving, right? So ankle mobility, number one. You can also stand on the edge of a stair and let your heels fall down. Put your balls of your foot on the stair and let your heels fall down like so. And what I like to do is to actually activate like you're going to come back up. Pretend this is my foot, and you're going to press up just a little bit, just so you can engage gravity. And then you're going to hold that for about 2 breaths, and then take a breath in, and on the exhale, let that ankle fall down. Get that ankle mobility back. It's so important, because this is a very important part of humanness, okay? Now you look at tribal cultures, even the elders are sitting around the fire like this. They sit for, certainly minutes, but even hours at a time in a squat. Plus it helps you pick lettuce, right? So that's first thing, ankle mobility. Next thing, of course, is the ability to get your tail, you can see this or not, to get your tail to go out. And some people have, we'll call a quote-unquote tightness of the hamstrings, but more often than not, it's the ability and the motor control to do that motion, okay? So just practicing on your hands and knees, getting your tail up and out. Up and out. Practice the motor control of that, okay? The motor control, and you're going to make the brake come really low. You don't want that brake to happen up here. You want that brake to happen down here. And also helpful with that is turning on your pelvic floor muscle or your Kegel muscle, your Kegel muscle. That also helps activate those really low lumbosacral muscles to help you get that out there. So there's a whole, I did another, if some people have a tightness on the back side of their hips because they have tightness in the front of their hips, I did another video on this, which I'll link to below. Sometimes your hamstrings can be long and tight, and I won't go into that, but I'll link to the video below. Sometimes you can stretch out the hip flexors in the front, and then all of a sudden stretch down and try and touch the floor again, like you're standing up and trying to stretch down and touch the floor, and you'll be able to go further if that is your issue. Okay, but again, I'll link that down below because I did a whole nother episode on that, and I won't go into that here. So getting your hips moving, getting your ankles moving are the two big ones. And then, of course, the ability to do this also depends on having mobility here. Because if you don't have good mobility in your thoracic spine and you try to go down, you can't. Now, if I was like this and I tried to go down, I wouldn't be able to go the rest of the way, would I? I have to be able to break through here in order to let everything fall into that deep squat. Okay? Now I know you're going to say, my knees would never be able to handle that. And honestly, that may be true for some of you who have derangements or long-standing arthritic conditions in the knee. And what I'll say to that is, you want to just improve your mechanics of how to at least squat like that. Get your tail out. Learn how to hip hinge. Learn how to hip hinge. Just means simply when you bend forward, you're going to bend from the hips and not from the low back. Just keep your hips mobile, please. I beg you, keep your hips mobile. Okay. But those are, I guess, a few big ones. All right. I mean, there's a lot more to this, of course, but at least work on getting better ankle mobility and getting better hip mobility and motor control, right? To keep your the back side and the posterior side of your hip nice and long. Okay. And guess what, guys? This stuff will make all of this stuff a lot easier because it will help lubricate your joints. It's full of omega-3 fatty acids. It's full of antioxidants. It is full of all kinds of phytonutrients that have never even been discovered yet, that talks to your genes and tells your immune system to calm down and relax, because this has literally, all lettuce has all lettuce is domesticated. It used to be a lot heavier in this substance, but the bitter alkaloids that are in like wild lettuces, the sap, like I'm going to tear this one out anyway. The sap that you'll see here, right? Oops. Anyway, the sap that comes out when you break off lettuce, that's a bitter alkaloid, and that is a central nervous system calmer. When your central nervous system is calm, it breaks you out of all that tension, that drawing tension. Okay, so this is another way to get calmer. And guess what? If you're doing this, you're gardening yourself. I'm also getting grounding elements from the earth. The electrons, negative electrons, are coming up through my feet right now, and that is also calming my immune response. Let the wind pass. It's calming my stress response. My cortisol is being lowered because my feet are on the ground and I am connecting with the earth. So we'll leave it at that, guys. So enjoy and try to work towards a full squat, or at least start to work on your mechanics of your squat. And if you have any questions about that, you can go to gettoyourcore.com, put in squat in the search box, and that should bring up some trainings that I did. Have a great day, guys. Please keep moving, keep thinking good thoughts, and keep eating good food. And if you like this kind of information, please join us at the Core Wellness Institute online coaching and training course, and you can get more information on that at www.reversecpsnow.com. That's cross posture syndrome, the stress-induced pattern of unhealthy aging, right? Reversecpsnow.com. Take it easy, guys. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.